Welcome back. 8:55 this morning. In a recent Penn State University study published in the February journal Nutrition Neuroscience found that gluten and dairy allergies may be playing a significant role in symptoms associated with autism spectrum disorder. And here with more on this is natural health care expert Dr. Mark Mincola. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So first, for folks that don't know what it is, I guess tell them about autism spectrum disorder.
Well, we're talking about a condition that really affects both physiology and behavior. They're called brain disorders. 3 million children, incredible numbers of children. We're talking about a 600% increase in 20 years. It's crazy.
It is. It's something that we talk a lot about. We've had a lot of folks here talking about autism
Sure.
and respecting to different things regarding the disorder. With this particular study, what exactly went on? How was it conducted?
Well, there were 387 parents who were parents of autistic children. They were given extensive questionnaires, and these are really focused on food and diet. Specifically, they were looking at gluten, which is, of course, a protein in wheat and grains. Also, casein, which is a protein in dairy products. Those are the two main foods that they focused on. Great study, though.
So what exactly were they able to conclude from this?
Well, they really found significant differences in the way the children behaved. So in terms of behavior, physiological functions, GI functions, that those kids who had dairy and wheat in their programs were deficient in many areas, whereas the children who excluded the wheat and the dairy were significantly better in terms of their improvement in physiological and behavior areas.
Fascinating. You and I were just talking about this just before we came back. It seems like more and more studies are finding that food really plays a significant role, well, in a lot of different things,
Sure.
in disease development, but just in also your daily life.
Well, and I point to the UCLA studies of this February that are really part of an ongoing program to really look at the enteric nervous system. They refer to it as the second brain, and it's actually in the gut. And initially, science thought that there was a two-way communication between the big brain and the gut brain, and they're finding now that actually there's a one-way communication that goes from the gut to the big brain. So when the gut is unhappy, it's inflamed, it's not able to digest foods, a lot of folks are now starting to think that it may initiate and signal the disease process for things like autism and for things like MS, Parkinson's, even depression and osteoporosis as well.
I imagine that there's probably plenty of debate about this type of thing, and like we were saying before, they changed the autism spectrum not too long ago, so likely that many other things regarding this will change as well. But would you recommend at this point that parents who have kids that may be autistic avoid dairy and grain products altogether?
Well, from the personal side of things, over the past 30 years, Shannon, I work with a lot of children like this. And we focus on those food allergies, those food intolerances. I would refer parents to www.foodallergies, plural, allergies.com. It's a great resource center for folks interested in maybe tapping into what might be there as far as dairy allergies or as far as wheat allergies or any other food allergies as well. So to exclude those and to just kind of put the body on even keel and see what happens is never a bad idea.
Well, I was going to ask you, are there, besides gluten and, we talk about dairy, are there any other types of nutrients out there that you think could contribute to something like this?
Well, again, I think that, when you think about foods, there are primary allergens with other things like soy, for example, as well, corn products, peanuts. So there's a number of different foods that we should look at here, not just the wheat and dairy. This is about wheat and dairy, but
Right.
There are a number of other primary allergens that could be contributors as well. I think the real key here is inflammation takes place both in the brain and the body, and it really is initiated by the problem of foods not being able to make its way through the body. So we start off by trying to identify with what these problem foods are, eliminate them, and see what happens.
Kind of eliminate what might be contributing to it and see what you're left with.
Addition through subtraction, right?
All right, well, I want to mention that on Saturday, March 24th, 10 a.m., you're going to be giving a cancer nutrition talk at Le Cordon Bleu, and at 1 p.m., you're going to be speaking streamlining your health at the Whitman Wellness Center. Did I get that all right?
You got it perfectly well.
And, of course, your website, maxhealing.com. You can get more information as well. We appreciate your
Thank you,
time, as
Shannon.
always.
Appreciate it.
All right, the Fox 25 Morning News at 9 o'clock starts right now.